If I can have your attention here in the Media Center, we are joined by our Busch Light Pull Award winner for Sunday's Cookout 400 here at Richmond Raceway, Tyler Reddick, driver, the number 45 Xfinity 10G with a design inspired by West Coast Customs. Walk us through that qualifying lap. It looked just hot out there, but you were able to make the most of that race car.
Yeah, I think the real turning point for me is, on lap one, and I forget, I was almost acting like I only had one lap in that first round, even though I had two. But, yeah, I knew that lap was going to be really close and kind of got out of shape coming out of turn four, and just I pretty much knew I was going to hit the wall, but I knew if I lifted, I wasn't going to make the second round with that first lap. So just stayed in it, hit the wall pretty good, but was able to transfer into the second round with that first lap, save a lap on those tires, and certainly we didn't have the recovery time that the Group A did to cool the tires off, but running just that one lap set us up pretty well for round two, and I think a lot of drivers and teams were not initially expecting the pace fall off to be that much, and so obviously we were able to observe that and kind of have an idea what we need to run for a lap time for round two, and it just worked out really, really well. So really excited to be on the pole for the first time this year, especially with 2311. We've been really strong when we've had the opportunities to qualify this year, and it's nice to finally get that first pole with the team. And just to top it off even more than that, the West Coast Customs Toyota Camry is getting built outside the racetrack, and it's going to be at the front of the field tomorrow. I'm going to make some laps in it tomorrow as well, and our race car is going to be right up there next to it, so that's also really cool.
Synergy there. If you have questions for Tyler, raise your hand. We'll get a wireless microphone to you. We're going to start here with Bob and work our way around.
Bob Hockers, Fox Sports. I assume that the car felt fine and that there was not enough damage that would make you go to the rear.
We'll see. I mean, you hope not, right? But, yeah, we'll look it over, and if there's anything super concerning, then, unfortunately we will have to address that. But we'll just see as it goes. I'll find out more shortly.
Additional questions for Tyler? We'll go to Nate, then to Lee.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Tyler, no wins for Toyota in the first 5 races, but now Toyota's won, I think, 7 of the past 16. Does it feel that way from where you're sitting? Does it feel like the manufacturer as a whole has sort of made a gain here where you guys are good almost every track you go to now? Or?
I mean, I feel like we've been really strong since the year started. Martin won the Clash to begin the year. I know that's very different than most races we do, but in those first 5 races, it was more of a matter of, and we all talked about it as a group, the Toyota drivers, that we have the speed, but we were kind of giving away these races and these opportunities. So all of us have done a better job of executing and closing out and getting those wins. I guess us specifically, we haven't, right, since COTA, but we've had good speed and we've been pretty consistent on that front. So we're just finding our way to victory lane more often, and it's definitely really good to see.
Lee Spencer, CatchFence.com. Sorry I missed you in here earlier, but I wanted to ask you, you're the defending winner at Indy. You won from the pole. What are your thoughts going back there, and what might be the last time that we run the Grand Prix course?
Well, I definitely not. I wouldn't be so certain that it is the last time we raced there on the road course. This car really does well on multi-groove racetracks, and there's really only 1.5 lanes around the Indy Oval, and this car really struggles in direct turbulent air. So until that really gets solved, I would not and maybe we try it right, but certainly the better racing will remain on the road course until we find a way to be able to allow these cars to really not lose a lot of downforce directly behind one another. We go to Fontana, we go to Charlotte, we go to a lot of these racetracks where you can really spread out. You have really good racing, and at Indy, it's just really not possible with the layout of the oval. So we'll see what happens.
And looking at turn 1, there's been talk in the driver's console about changing, how treacherous it is entering that turn. What are your thoughts on that? And other than changing the restart zone, what do you think can be done so it's not a big funnel going into that turn?
Yeah, I think the things that I don't know where it's at, but I wouldn't be surprised if what we did at Chicago, is what we kind of try to do to help Indy. Certainly worked really well at Chicago. Obviously, though, the conditions and everything kind of lend its hand to not being super chaotic, but certainly, with single file restarts because of the track conditions, it was really hard to gauge how well, I guess, that move to restart zone really helped the racing. I guess the Xfinity cars, their track was dry for a good bit, and it certainly allowed others to battle for position in a turn one, but they weren't just stacked on top of each other.
We'll go to your right here to Owen.
Hey Tyler, Owen Johnson, Cupscene.com. How important do you think it is to start up front at a track like Richmond? Do you expect it to be easy or hard to pass tomorrow?
I think once the run gets going, it's going to be more difficult, but certainly a place like this where it becomes very frustrating very quick when you have to pass the same couple of cars frequently throughout the race. So having that number one pit stall where we have the opportunity with solid pit stops to leapfrog other cars that we will be racing around all day tomorrow, I think is a huge, good opportunity for us. So I wouldn't say it's necessarily hard to pass, but certainly when you pass or have been passed by a car a number of times, you start to show your hand, if you will, your tendencies. So, people will figure out what you're doing. But I'd say it's of the tracks we go to, it's an easier one for sure, because of how great the tire fall off really is here.
Do we have additional questions for Tyler? Okay, Tyler, well, congratulations on winning the pole and good luck tomorrow.
Thank you guys.
Yep.